Welcome to Talking Tactics, a podcast that gets you results. Each episode features a single tactic implemented with limited resources that moved the needle in enrollment in some way. I'm your host, Day Kibbles, Strategy Director at Ology, a marketing and branding agency for education. Join me every other week for discussions with some of the most clever folks in admissions and enrollment marketing, doing the work day to day, just like you. Talking Tactics is a part of the Enrollify network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher education professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites, linked in the show notes below. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered, all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Check them out at element451.com. Dearest Tactic Talkers, Day here, and welcome to another episode of our beloved Talking Tactics. You know I am a big fan of clever, and today's tactic is exactly that. The University of Arkansas at Little Rock hosts local high school graduations on their campus. Milliorn, who's with us today, and her team took that opportunity to target the attendees of those graduations while they were on campus with geotargeted ads, and they saw more than 135,000 impressions and 306 conversions on the ads. I love it. Meaghan has worked at UA Little Rock for 15 years and serves as the Director of Digital Strategy, overseeing the strategic focus of the university's website and ensuring it meets the needs of future and current students. Meaghan, welcome to Talking Tactics.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to talk about this tactic because once you hear things like this, you're like, well, duh, of course. But it doesn't occur to us, right?
Right, exactly.
So smart. So I love that in your bio, you say that you focus on strategy and meeting the needs of our audience, because it sounds like this tactic is doing exactly that. Can you give us the background of where this tactic came from and what you were trying to strategically do?
Yes. So on our campus at the university, we have a big arena, as many universities do. And, people in the community can rent it for their events. And for years, we had local high schools hold their graduations in this arena. Various high schools from within our city in Little Rock and also from surrounding nearby cities would come here. And last year, we were doing a geofencing, targeting campaign with some community colleges, targeting them to come to our university and finish their bachelor's degree. And it went really well. But it gave us the idea of, hey, we also have all these high school students coming to our campus.
Yes.
Maybe we should target our own building. So that's kind of how the idea got started.
You know what I love about this? A lot of universities have this kind of strategic focus on, we must serve our local markets, right? We need to build relationships with our local community. And they're already, if they're already coming to your campus, right, for this super awesome milestone, which is the high school graduation. I mean, talk about the opportunity to emotionally connect right on the spot, right? That's awesome.
Right. They're already here. So
yeah, their university vibe is happening, education vibe is happening. I love it. So, okay, smart idea. Tell us specifically what content you actually wanted to show them. What were these ads about?
Well, that was the thing we had to think about, because we were going to have, high school students here, 17 years old, 18 years old, and their parents and their grandparents and aunt and uncles, and also, people from their schools. So we had to think, what type of message can we serve them that will be relevant to all of these different audiences? And the thing that has been really important for us is talking about how affordable our university is. And we had a new scholarship that kind of got started last fall. So we knew this would be a good opportunity to put this right in front of these people. So our big messaging was about affordability and our scholarships. So that's something that a parent is interested in. It's definitely something that this generation is interested in. So we thought that would be the best to kind of meet those needs.
That and I love it. I love it in so many ways because one, you're right. Like every single audience cares about that. The counselors care about that, the teachers that are there, the students, the parents, the grandparents. But also it gives you kind of on your side of things, the ability to not have to run so many versions of things and not like you could segment because you're just targeting the building, right? So
Right.
yeah, that's super smart. Super smart.
Yeah. And they were motion ads. So we thought that would be easier. Like they animated, and that way we could get a couple of different text messages on the ad in one ad, because it rotated through real quick, a couple of different visuals. So that way we could kind of get the key information in front of somebody in just that quick moment.
In the moment. All right. So let's talk about like the details of the implementation of this. I'm really curious about, so you're talking about motion ads, but I'm curious about timing, frequency, where did the ads show up? Like what were the people doing? Like what step by step, how did you make this happen? How did you design it?
So we have designers in-house that are really talented. And one in particular has been doing a lot of these motion animated ads. So she designed them and they were on Facebook and display. And we work with an agency. And so they were responsible for placing the ads. And they ran during the specific dates that we knew these graduations were going to be happening. So just those specific dates in May. And there were about 9 different high schools that were having their graduation ceremonies. And so we knew that we were going to get in front of a lot of eyeballs. And if you're at graduation, there are some downtime moments and you get your phone out. And even if you're not supposed to, you may just get on there and scroll for a second. And, this ad pops up. And the message about affordability could be something that they're thinking about, or maybe they're still trying to make that decision on where to go to school.
Yeah. Okay. I love that. So it was the whole day, that building, right? For those whatever many dates in May. Okay. That sounds simple enough to try to implement. Did you do was there any from one date to the next? Did you change anything? And did you set up any kind of follow-up campaign?
Yeah. So, we wanted to be sure that we could get this message in front of them a second time. So we used their IP addresses and were able to remarket them, retarget them for about 2 months after that initial graduation date. So that was really the key. And that lasted for about 3 weeks after the graduation. So they were kind of seeing these ads on and off for 3 weeks afterwards. And that smaller replay campaign got us a lot more impressions and clicks. So getting back in front of their eyes was a real good way to kind of continue to send that message to them.
Yeah, okay, that's really smart because it's not just that moment in time, but you can. Everybody says there's like this saying, right? In marketing, people have to see the thing 7 times before.
Yes, exactly.
What was the call to action on these ads?
One of them was about our Trojan Guarantee Scholarship, and then another one was about the half-off scholarship that we have for some of our students can get half-off tuition. And so the ad was really about going to the site to learn more and to apply for admission, because with our scholarships, you can just apply for admission and that will count as your scholarship application.
Got it.
So it's just one application needed. So we were trying to make the call to action very clear that this is what we're offering and it's very easy for you to apply and be considered for this scholarship.
Okay, which is very attractive, I'm sure, with the very overwhelming admission process. So before, you alluded to clicks and impressions, but we won't get there yet. So people keep listening. I'm curious if there were any challenges or any lessons you learned, especially from kind of the first date that you did this to the end. And also what did it take across campus to make this happen? Like someone had to tell you the dates. Was there anything like that?
Hey there, it's Mallory, Chief Strategist of Enrollify. Higher ed is facing a leadership crisis. The demands on today's college and university leaders are skyrocketing, and talent is leaving the industry at an unprecedented rate. New leaders like you are emerging, but no one is getting the proper training to be successful. Well, Enrollify is here to change that. Our new course, Lessons in Leadership, taught by Dr. Carrie Phillips, will prepare you to be a confident, empathetic, and effective leader. From systems thinking to adaptive leadership, building culture to handling difficult decisions, this comprehensive online course is perfect for new and aspiring leaders. Don't wait. The course starts September 9th, and for a lucky group of 26 students, we have the option to add interactive sessions with Dr. Phillips for personalized guidance. Visit Enrollify.org to learn more.
Well, one of those challenges was deciding what should the ad be. I mean, are we going to talk about enrolling? Are we going to talk about affordability? Because, you've got 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, but you also have their parents. And typically, if we're going to run an ad campaign, like you said, we would be more segmented, showing ads to this certain age group. But we didn't have that luxury for just this quick graduation campaign. So that's why we decided to go with messaging about affordability, because that really appeals to everybody. And the other challenge, was how can we get this message in front of them that's really, we have to be quick because they're not going to be on their phones for a long time. So that's where the moving graphics came into play, because we had I think they were about like an 8-second ad. And that way it kind of rotated through a few text and images that would get the information to them pretty quickly. But working with some of our partners on campus, we were able to get the dates by talking with the people that run the arena. We have a really good relationship with them anyways. And so that was easy to kind of find out what high schools were going to be there and when. And, we work really closely with our enrollment management partners and admissions. We are really fortunate that we can collaborate with them. And because of that collaboration, they were very excited about this campaign, and they were able to split the cost with us. So there was some cost sharing involved.
All right.
And, we love to do that. We're happy to partner with them and, be the ones that kind of execute the campaign and then, hand everything over to them so that they can, keep these students and follow up with them and get them here to enroll.
I'm wondering too, if, they're seeing these ads on their phone, was there any, or maybe in the past it's always been this way, any corresponding materials there physically, like a view book or a pamphlet or anything to take with them as well?
Well, usually at the arena, there is a kind of spot, an electronic sign that does rotate through some messages that some of them are from outside advertisers, but we also have messages just about UA Little Rock that usually say like visit campus. Those are even playing, during our basketball games so that people are kind of always aware that you can go to this place online and schedule a campus tour. But I think having, some of our recruiters at the arena next year, if they were able to get like a spot at the front, that would be a really smart idea, and like pass out some quick, a postcard or a view book material. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Oh, well, there we go. Tactic for next year.
Next year we'll come back and talk
about how that works. Well, I'm just thinking about, all these touch points happening at the same time. And like, I love it when we capture these super emotional moments. Like, I think I can't quite recall where I read this or how I read it, but trying to advertise or market to your audience in the moment where they're already feeling the emotion you want them to feel about you is really smart, because then they associate you with that. And I'm thinking about all these emotions that are happening at their high school graduation. Like it's pride, it's excitement. Like you want those things to forever be associated with you, right? And so hammering with all these touch points when they're feeling those things already is like, you're already taking the lead compared to other schools. Like that
positive association.
Exactly. Exactly. I love it. Okay, so let's talk about the results. Tell us everything you learned, all the successes you saw.
So with the initial graduation campaigns, we had just under 32,000 impressions. So this is about 9 high schools that were at these ceremonies. And so it reached a little over 26,000 people.
Wow.
And from clicks, it was 306 clicks, which we were really happy with because, yes, it got in front of 26,000 eyeballs, but 306 clicks. I mean, people were actually taking the time to click that ad while they're at their child's graduation ceremony, but, we'll take it.
Hey, you know what? It's the college search. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing.
They are. Yes, they are. And then for the replay campaign where we targeted them again, we actually ended up having a even bigger number with the impressions. It was actually 104,000 impressions and then 120 clicks. So the clicks were a little bit less than during the ceremonies, but that's still, we were so excited to have that many people actively clicking on the ad.
Well, okay, I have so many questions about this. Let me just see if I heard you right. The clicks during, so when it was on campus, it's something like 300. Yeah?
Yes.
And then the clicks after is 120-ish?
Yes.
What I love about that is where people are clicking more while they were on your campus.
I know.
And
yes, exactly.
You would guess that to be the opposite, right? Like, oh.
You would. That's what we talked about that. We were like, well, it could have been, while they're just waiting for the ceremony even to begin.
Like it's a captive audience. Oh my gosh, everybody should be doing this all the time. Captive audience.
What else are you doing when you're waiting for something? You're scrolling on your phone.
You're scrolling. Absolutely. Or for me, it's when I'm waiting for something or when I'm supposed to be going to bed. I'm scrolling.
Yes. There you go. All the key moments.
This is when you target parents, everyone, when I'm supposed to be going to bed, which is the only time I have for myself.
The only quiet time.
Only quiet time. Okay. And then the other question I have for you, I'm not sure if you know this, but so we're talking about impressions that are in the hundreds of thousands, which how many people were actually there, right? I'm trying to imagine how big is a high school graduation class?
Yeah, I tried to do some math on that. Some of these schools are really big. These are some of our bigger school districts around Little Rock. The arena itself seats a little over 5,000 people. But some of these students, these graduating classes are, 400 students that are graduating. So if you've got 400 students at the graduation, plus their parents, plus their cousins and aunts and uncles, that's over 1,000 people sitting there that are looking at your ads.
But then you try to do that math between how many clicks it was and then how many people total. And if it's 500 per high school and there were 9 high schools, that's really good conversion rate for digital ads. Digital ad conversion rates are very low typically. So
and some of them, some of the high schools maybe performed a little bit better than the others. And I'm not sure what that's attributed to, but I think that's just something that, we do want to have this campaign run again next year.
Yes.
And so it'd be kind of interesting to see if we have the same type of success with these specific high schools and just kind of how it changes.
Well, and the other thing I'm interested about for the next time you come on the show with is, this just happened in May. So when the application opens later this year at some point, how many of these students from those is that going to change the conversion from those high schools?
That would be really exciting. I know that one of these high schools that was here, they are one of our biggest feeders of high school students. So we already have a pretty good relationship with them. And they are not a school in Little Rock. They're kind of on the next town over. So, and there may be even more graduations that are held here next year. We'll have to see. They all want to get our ads. So
word is going to spread and they're going to be like, you know what? I need to go click on this ad. I'm hosting my graduation.
We are going to have our graduation there.
All right. Is there any other result or lesson that you want to share?
No, I don't think so. I think it's just sometimes the best solution is right in front of you. Yeah. And, these graduations were happening on campus. It was a low-hanging fruit. It didn't take a lot of time to really plan it. It wasn't a super expensive project because it didn't last forever. So I think if people just kind of take a step back and see what opportunities are right in front of them, it may end up being a really positive outcome for them.
That makes me think of all the things that happen on campus, right? Especially your own open houses, your own campus visits, your own any kind of event that is happening on campus, there's so much effort that goes into that on-campus experience. But I'm kind of curious now how many schools are also targeting the visitors digitally those days, you know? I bet you're going to do it next if you're not already.
Yeah. Everybody should do it.
Everybody should do it. All right. Well, Meaghan, if people want to get in touch with you, how should they reach you?
They can email me or they can find me on LinkedIn.
Yes.
I would be happy to have a conversation about it.
I will make sure your LinkedIn is in the show notes. And also, I'm going to do a plug for your talks that you have coming up and at Hired Web in a month. So Meaghan is going to be doing a lightning talk on the health benefits of expressing gratitude. I love that. And you're going to be part of a panel about leadership through a woman's lens. So
yes.
2 more chances to learn from this super, super clever colleague of all of ours. Yes.
Yeah. Come to Albuquerque at Hired Web.
That's right. A little plug. All right, listeners, thank you so much for tuning in today. Remember to follow or subscribe to keep walking the walk and talking the tactics. The Talking Tactics podcast is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you'll like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher ed technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our shows help higher ed marketers and admissions pros find their next big idea and feature a selection of the industry's bests as your hosts, like Jamie Hunt, Allison Tercio, Jenny Lee Fowler, Jeremy Tears, and so many of your other favorite leaders in higher ed too. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered, all-in-one student engagement platform, helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Check them out at element451.com.